All right, so in our past video, we talked about note taking on NotebookLM, and we just discussed how you could import sources. You could just summarize the entire source and then ask it whatever it is that you want from the sources, and it's going to give you. We also mentioned why this error is there and how you can avoid it. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about this aspect of NotebookLM that makes it also extremely cool. So for people like me who, well, I feel a bit lazy reading a chunk of text. I mean, starting from this bulky text down to even the summary, it could still be tiring. I mean, trying to read it, or in some cases, you could be on the road and you probably just want to have your earpiece on or a headphone just to listen to the notes that you've summarized. So this is why a feature like this by NotebookLM was made possible. But the only thing this could do is now to use two hosts, and English is the only language you could use this for at the moment. And it's going to generate from these sources. So now what we're going to do now is to just generate the audio just as it is. And once we do, we're going to keep it by the side. And then we would now use the customize feature, because this is new. It's a new feature by NotebookLM where you could customize what could be said within the conversation. And it makes it, it gives two hosts, making it very entertaining to listen to, and you hardly could get bored. So let me just click on generate. And what this would do is it's going to take a few minutes actually, because it's going to go through all the sources and then talk about the entire topic that you are referring to. So if you notice, I didn't really even give it any command to say, hey, generate audio on this, or the audio should be on this. And that's why that customized feature is actually there. But for this, let's see what it comes up with. So I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's done. All right, so it generated a 10-minute audio, and this looks comprehensive from all the sources that were given it. So let's go ahead and play and just listen to what it generated.
Okay, so get this. You know the word computer originally referred to a person.
Really?
Yeah, wild ride.
Huh.
We're going on a wild ride today. From ancient number crunchers to the stuff we're carrying around in our pockets.
Okay.
We've got stacks of info from Wikipedia and live science, so buckle up.
All right.
Let's see how humanity went from counting on fingers to, well, iPhones.
It's fascinating when you think about it, that need to calculate. Like, humans were practically hardwired to.
Yeah. All right, so this is I don't know, it's really interesting to listen to this, and it simplifies the entire bulk of text that we have had from these sources. And don't forget, we also had a book that's over 200 pages and some web pages that I believe some articles on there are around 5,000 words. So this is a fun way to actually study when you have something like this. But with NotebookLM, you could go further by customizing how this output would sound. So for now, let's just try downloading this. Yeah. All right, so now that we have it downloaded, we would now try to customize whatsoever output we have from this audio using the feature that we have provided by NotebookLM. So in order to do that, all we need to do is delete the one that we already generated, since we have a downloaded version, and then it's gonna just be like a new conversation that we can generate. So we can just customize, and this customization guides the hosts in this case on what to talk about. And it's even though the first output was really amazing, we could still go a step further, right? So these are the things that you could try. You could focus on a specific source, which means we have these sources. And from the last video, I showed us how we can rename each source. So giving each source a name easy to just target it. We could also focus on a specific topic. So we could just create a topic out of the history of computing and then talk about it, like we did in the first video, where we told it to write an essay on why Charles Babbage is the father of computers. And we could also now target a specific audience, which is one that I'm interested in. So let's say this podcast or this conversation or this summary or whatsoever it is that is called is targeted at someone or people who have little to no knowledge of computers. So let's just say we can just use something similar. So explain to people who have little to knowledge computers. Use a fun tone and include some light humor within the conversations. We could also add more. We could just tell it to let's see. All right, so we are in light humor. What else could we do? I think that's it. All right. Include some anecdotes. For more engaging experience. All right, so this is us going too far because for it to include some anecdotes, it's going to make the speakers mention even things that they haven't really done or things that they've not experienced. But I am believing that these anecdotes could just relate to the sources, for instance. So if someone has done something, a speaker could just say, yeah, this has happened to me too. Right? So now that we have this, we just generate and wait for it to conclude. All right. So I'm going to pause this video again and come back when it's done. All right. So this has generated. And if you notice, there's a slight difference. It's still a 10-minute audio, but the first one was 10 minutes, 26 seconds, while this is 10 minutes, 21 seconds. All right. So let's hear what the difference is, even though I'm just going to play the first 10 seconds of it.
Ever feel like everybody else is fluent in like computer ease?
Yeah.
You know, like they're all coding this and algorithm that. And you're just sitting here like, oh, internet, please.
It can definitely feel that way.
Yeah, and I know I'm not alone. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. Breaking down the basics of computers. No jargon allowed.
That's right. We're going all the way back to the beginning. Before microchips, before motherboards, to really understand how these amazing machines evolved from, well...
All right. I know I said 10 seconds, but you can't just deny the fact that this sounds really, really nice, to the point where I kept watching the 10 seconds pass and I couldn't pause. All right. So this is what NotebookLM does. Mind you, this is a very bulky and probably a boring subject, but this makes it interesting, right? So other things that you can do with this is you could create a timeline using NotebookLM for a topic especially like this, where we know that there has been so many changes within years, and this happened between year A to year B, and this would generate the perfect timeline for this. And if you notice, it takes its time to generate these things because it has to go through all the sources. So if you want to exclude any source, you just uncheck the box and it doesn't count it as a source. Or if you just want to focus on a particular source and generate the audio, all you need to do is specify the source name. So like I said, the timeline generation actually works well for a topic like this. So you can see the pre-20th century, what happened, and then the 20th century, and you could just see all the years and dates that on a normal day you could just find it really boring, which I still do. But yeah, this makes everything interesting. What do you think of this feature of Notebook LM? I mean, I would find myself using this often, and probably just think of something really interesting to like use this for. So let me know in the comment section, as usual, what you think of it. Let me know what you see yourself using it for. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.